Hello everybody, this is Bitcoin Macro, and today guys I've got lots of videos for you coming, but on this one specifically we're going to talk about Cardano, Polkadot, XRP and Stellar. So these are going to be the 4 coins we're going to be talking about today, and on other videos we're going to talk about some DeFi stuff, some layer 1 protocols and even some a little bit hotter stuff depending how much time I have for uploading these videos. So the first one is going to be about Cardano. Here I've got an idea that I shared a few days ago. It has been going very well. That idea is on TradingView, straight into profit essentially. Okay, started doing very well. It's a trade that's still active, and let's go through the stuff guys and why I like this trade. So first of all, when it comes to Cardano versus Bitcoin, Cardano had a very nice uptrend early on this year, and then this was its reaccumulation phase. Okay, so it started doing well in a period where other coins were not doing well. So that was a little bit of you know, an inefficiency, something that happened in the market that wasn't really supposed to happen. I don't know if there was like any specific news. I don't know if that was, let's say, some people being prepared about a Coinbase listing, because the Coinbase listing happened actually here. So as you can understand, the Coinbase listing definitely plays a role in my opinion, and potentially more exchanges will follow, because yes, Cardano is listed on many exchanges, but I do believe there could be more coming, let's say Bitstamp and stuff like that. So Cardano had this nice rally initially in 2020 along with the rest of the coins. It was one of those that actually rallied during the DeFi summer, when it was kind of a bit of a surprise, but that was because it had a catalyst. So the mainnet was coming for Cardano, and now what we're looking at here essentially is a very nice chart, because we have this nice bubble. It took very long for it to completely break, to completely pop. Then we had that accumulation phase, and we had the first breakout, then came all the way back to the base. Okay, came back to the most traded point ever, which was this line right here, and then it bounced very nicely. So now the trend is very clean. We have a proper uptrend, no froth. We don't have that exuberance that we had back then, which means that Cardano could easily come all the way back to its previous all-time highs against Bitcoin. Because look at this resistance turned into support. This support was reclaimed, turned into support again. This resistance and support, initially support, then resistance, has turned into support again. So as we go higher, like these things here are pretty much kind of irrelevant. Okay, because what mattered the most was the key support right here, because most of the people that got really damaged were the ones that started buying here, because the ones that started buying all the way up there, they probably got wrecked anyways. So now that we are back above this key level, it's just open air in my opinion. Now, of course, we might just stop a little bit in these areas, here or here, you know, when we come to this high, maybe have a pullback and then higher. But in my opinion, it's looking pretty good right now. So again, if I just zoom in a little bit, we can easily see that right here we had multiple tests of this area right here. Then this could be considered like the initial breakout. Now, of course, the price could come all the way down here, for example. Okay, because this could be seen as a little resistance line, because again, a lot of things have gone up substantially, so we might get another pause. Most of the times recently that we had these moves up, we have seen a pullback, but in my opinion, it's just a matter of time until we break higher. Because again, if I just take this diagonal right here, we see that we're in a very clean uptrend. No matter how you take it, no matter how you see it, we are still in a very clean uptrend. So it could easily find support all the way down here. So again, it doesn't mean that you have to go rush and buy any of these things that I mentioned, but overall I just wanted to mention certain things that I have talked about in the past. So I've talked about most of these coins, and I just want to let's say not revise my view, but of course just update my view, because time has passed. So of course with time the data has changed a little bit, of course in my favor in most of them, and then, you know, I just want to say a little bit more stuff about all these things. So the other one is Cardano USDT that I want to watch, at least for now, because Cardano has actually broken above its all-time high, and that goes even back to its old all-time high, which is a really, really big breakout. Okay, now of course, again, it might just chop a little bit because like we saw right here, the price didn't immediately go above. But once you have this here, guys, when you have this massive catastrophic week where it washed out everyone, okay, and then before that you had this on the upside, essentially that was a range. We swept the lows from this range because that was the first real top. Then we went and swept those lows, and now we're breaking above them again. So essentially that was our whole reaccumulation period, which has lasted for about, let's say, 2.5 months. Probably a bit less, but it's something like that, probably 2 months. So now that we're breaking cleanly above this, yes, maybe we get a pullback down to this area, but I would be surprised if we go lower than this, if we even go down there. So the other one to watch is this, guys, because that's what I meant with the actual all-time high. So this is a proper breakout from the all-time highs. Again, it was a very, very nice base right here, very huge base. Of course, the price was actually going down here as well, because this is the price on Binance, not the price on Bittrex, because Cardano started trading on Bittrex a bit earlier. But of course, this is a massive breakout in my opinion. So next one is Polkadot, which initially hadn't done as well as I had mentioned, and the truth is that now I still expect it to do very, very well, because look at this. This has been the reaccumulation for Polkadot, which has been insane pretty much, because Polkadot is a much newer coin. Okay, so its cycles are a bit different. Like, it just has had one little cycle, not even an 80% drop, because it hadn't really gone up as much. It's a tricky one because it has adoption. There are stuff behind it, but because they actually lost all the funds that they had because of that parity bug in the past, it was in a tricky situation. I don't know if it's actually worth as much money as it is right now, but the truth is that the market has decided for quite some time that this is the valuation now. And I still believe that it's not listed on Coinbase, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, it's not listed on Coinbase, and I do believe that eventually it will be listed on Coinbase. So imagine this, Polkadot getting on Coinbase, that would result in a pretty big pump. Now, I don't know why Coinbase hasn't done it yet. Maybe they are testing certain things. Maybe they want to be very sure first, because again, Polkadot is a younger project and something that might have been less tested so far. Maybe the thing with the funds might create some regulatory issues, but in my opinion, it's going to come. So even here, you can see that those wicks down, those shadows of the candles are higher. And at the same time, we have tested this resistance a few times. So I do believe that maybe that becomes resistance for a little bit longer. Okay, so we might see just a little bit like this, and then higher. But again, because we had this resistance here for quite some time, that was the previous all-time high. Then we had this resistance here for quite some time, and now these things just fail completely to make the price collapse. If the price wanted to reverse, in my opinion, we had already done it. So the structure is still very, very bullish, because again, I'm more concerned about these highs. Concerned is not the right word essentially, but if I was just trading, I would be more concerned, let's say, as a bear, because when these highs get retested again, they're much more easy to break, because they don't really have a proper resistance. This is just a line. This is just a level that it just has happened that the price has been rejected, but we haven't exploded higher. Whereas here, we sort of have a proper support, because that was resistance for so long that anyone who wanted to sell has already sold in these areas. Maybe you can even include this line right here, okay, because that was resistance too. And then once that thing started turning into support, we have been moving higher. Again, Polkadot has a lot of stuff going for it, tons of projects building on top, whereas Cardano doesn't actually have that. Neither do XRP or XLM. So Polkadot does have some extra positives for it. and at the same time the fact that it hasn't been listed on Coinbase. In the short term, it does kind of make it less worthy, but at the same time, betting on the listing might be the best move, because again, it's listed on most exchanges right now, so why wouldn't Coinbase come anytime soon? The next one is XRP, which I had mentioned it before when it was pumping, and I just said, you know something guys, I think XRP is gonna take a break, because it had come up to this area right here, which was an old resistance zone, and then that was an old support zone. That was essentially very close to the point where we got the very negative news from the SEC. So when that happened, it was kind of tough for me to just say it's gonna go higher, so we did actually get a correction. And then when we did get the correction, the price came all the way back to this key breakout level, and it has been going up ever since. Now, XRP is one of those tokens, guys, that, you know, CoinMarketCap has added its history. Now it goes back to where it was in 2013. CoinMarketCap doesn't have data before 2013, at least no before August of 2013. I do believe that XRP had done something like this at some point, so it had gone even above these all-time highs right here. So in my opinion, at least, it's just something that is very noteworthy, because it has had these cycles lots of times. So once it came back to those cycle lows, it started pumping very, very nicely. Binance has been adding those charts. They've been adding history to the Binance charts. So although the Binance charts are actually trading around this area right here, they added the history from the XRP based on CoinMarketCap, because they have actually bought CoinMarketCap themselves. So if I was gonna look at anything at the moment, I would just say potentially it goes all the way up here. It goes back to the previous resistance zone. Maybe it does have a little pullback, and then it goes much, much higher. But of course, this happens, and you know what I mean is that because of the SEC having that ban, essentially suing them for an unregistered securities offering, that means that, you know, XRP is in trouble. So if they actually rule against them, the price might take another dip. Okay, so far they have managed to survive through all of that stuff, but maybe that's the final blow. So of course, I wouldn't suggest using leverage or anything with XRP. Maybe you are lucky and nothing happens, and maybe if the SEC comes in favor of XRP, maybe that's a very, very huge positive win for XRP, which might also mean more exchanges are going to add the XRP back. So all the people that sold their XRP might have to run back and buy them again, which of course is going to create tremendous amount of pressure. And because the listings might come all together, that could mean it's going to be even more explosive. But in my opinion, the chances of that happening are very slim. So be careful when trading XRP. Now, finally, I'm going to look at Stellar. Now, of course, for Stellar, the actual ticker is XLM, but because they haven't added the history yet on the Binance chart, I'm going to start with the Poloniex chart. And these are some old lines I have here. But, you know, Stellar has had this incredible base formation versus Bitcoin. Okay, this is just Stellar. It's just like Stellar looks like it's ready to go to Interstellar. Like I think they might find, at least discover, invent interstellar travel. It's just insanely beautiful. Because look at these guys. So it has come back to those cycle lows. It had that big capitulation along with the XRP, along with all the stuff that happened back then with the Bitcoin rally and everything. So once that got out of the way, and Stellar has actually survived up until now, because Jed by Caleb is not in prison, nothing, the SEC has not sued Stellar. Maybe that's something people should be aware of as well, but up until now nothing has happened. So for now I'm assuming nothing will happen. Of course, who knows, maybe it does, but again, the chart looks incredible, and in my opinion it could have a lot of upside from here, because once it starts breaking these these highs right here, that old support has turned into resistance. So potentially the price could come all the way up here, then all the way down here, then come up to that level right there, which was the old support level, then potentially come down and then higher again. Now, usually when we get like such a distribution, these are coins that I'm never interested again. For example, Tezos or some other coins, because they just feel heavy. They've got like all that overhead resistance. But because Stellar has had these incredible cycles right here, and because of that reaccumulation, that accumulation actually looks much longer than this distribution, then potentially Stellar could have a lot more upside than a downside from here. Or at least it might come way easier, because again, this reaccumulation period is about 2x its distribution period, okay? And that's really, really big. And just take a note, guys, that back then, Stellar was not really listed on many exchanges. Just very, very few exchanges, very few, okay? Whereas now it's listed on Coinbase, it's listed on all those exchanges. So, of course, it could have way more upside now, because look at this. Proper full cycle, proper accumulation, you know, and the chart looks clean. That's all I can say. Like once it starts breaking above those highs, then it can really, really do some damage to the shorts. Again, I don't even know where to find a proper chart for XLM, at least with the full USD history, because even when I look at Kraken, it has a problem, and most of the exchanges hadn't listed Stellar before that. Even Kraken has a bit of an issue, but it's not even at an all-time high right now. So I can imagine that when it gets to the all-time high, then it could just explode much, much higher. It looks a bit tricky, but in my opinion, it's pretty bullish as well. Also take a notice, guys, that because XRP and Stellar were kind of having that relationship where when one was going up, then the other was following, then that has kind of been destroyed a little bit. And maybe I was thinking that some people gravitate towards Stellar rather than Ripple, because they have, like, you know, they're fairly similar. They have that Jed McCaleb story. Potentially that could be the downfall, the same downfall, because Jed was dumping tons of XRP. He was the one that created the XRP token, the Ripple token. So, you know, anything can happen. I do believe that the guy's a scammer. It's a big problem to the crypto industry, but of course this has nothing to do with the price. Maybe Stellar does manage to build great stuff. I don't know too much about the project. I've seen some of the collaborations. They've tried to do some stuff with USDC and other stable coins, but the truth is that the stable coins have already decided which blockchains they want to be used on. Of course, there would be lots of different blockchains, but for now, Tron, Ethereum, and some other chains have been the ones that are the main chains for these stable coins. Maybe even Algorand has started getting a little bit of adoption with some of them. Solana as well. Polkadot will do its thing. Cardano will do its thing. So again, when I see just some stuff about stable coins, I'm not really as excited. So it all comes down to the price. Maybe just people like Stellar because of the name. It's actually a thing. Maybe they just see it on Coinbase. They think, okay, that's a fairly cheap coin. If it is going to $1, maybe it can go to $10. So whatever, you know, it's still below $1 right now. But what I mean is it could have a lot more upside in the future. So that's it from me, guys, in this video. I'm making these videos a little bit faster. I'm trying to push some content because there are a lot of things that I want to cover. So I apologize if I did stutter a little bit. There are some noises around me. My cat is interfering a little bit. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. This was more of an update because I've mentioned certain things about, like, let's say Cardano, Stellar, and all that stuff in other videos. And I just wanted to let you know, guys, what I think now. So once again, thanks a lot for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below what you liked, what you think about this project, maybe any feedback, positive or negative. And of course, give me a follow on Twitter, give me a follow on Telegram, give me a follow on TradingView as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.